In the house, we have a guest with us, and what do they call it, Tommy, when somebody visits you all the time? He's no longer a guest. He's here all the time.
Like the mother-in-law?
Yeah, the mother-in-law, yeah. Marcus Shudo's here from Visani's with his headliner this week, and Josh Blue is the headliner. Opening for him is Ricky Reyes. They'll be here all week long. And Josh, comedy's one thing, but when I found out you were a soccer player, you became more dear to me than you because now I got somebody that can back me up about watching soccer.
Yeah, it's a great sport, man.
And you were 9 years on the national team?
Yeah, I was on the National Paralympic team, which is the Olympics for people with physical disabilities. I have cerebral palsy. I like to mention that in a radio interview, otherwise your listeners are like, man, this guy's pretty wasted for this early in the morning. Sounds like he's been hitting it pretty hard.
No, they've been listening to Tommy and I for a long time.
You're already drunk, baby.
Yeah, this is the caliber of your guest.
Yeah.
Usually, right? Okay.
Yeah, well, no, the host, not the guest. Josh, you've been doing stand-up for quite a while now. And I was surprised when you've been doing stand-up before Last Comic Standing.
I was actually a touring headliner like probably a year and a half before I won Last Comic. So.
Yeah, and everybody thought Grandma Lee had just started as a comic when she won America's Got Talent. And she'd been doing it for what, 20 years, Mark?
20 years.
Before that.
At least you would hope.
Yeah. How did you find the crowds after Last Comic Standing?
Yeah, it definitely changed a little bit, well, people knew who I was, people coming to see me. Before Last Comic Standing, if you came to my show and you didn't know who I was, I had a lot of explaining to do. 'Cause if you don't know me and you come into my show and you're like, man, did I come into the wrong room? Like, this is like a homeless shelter. What is going on here?
I see on your schedule you do a lot for the troops.
I do. I'm starting to do a lot of USO touring, and I got like 16 bases this year.
I saw that on your schedule. You're going to do Fort Meade in Maryland. Be careful of that place. That's where all the crypto top secret guys are.
Well, the arm will break all the codes.
Yeah. You're in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere, man. I'm back and forth all over this beautiful nation.
Now, you chose Denver to live. Was that because of proximity to LA or travel?
Yeah, that's a big one. It's pretty centrally located, and with my tour schedule, going back and forth is from LA to New York, that's insane. So Denver, it's kind of loosens the load, and then I also have a wife and kids there, and we settled down, and we like that city.
It's a beautiful city. Now, you're originally from Washington State, or?
I went to college in Washington State, but I grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I was actually born in Cameroon, West Africa.
I saw that. I was going to ask you about that as well, Cameroon.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Was your dad stationed there or something like that?
Well, when a man loves a woman.
Yeah.
No, my dad was over there teaching English.
Okay.
And, my mom was there too.
Oh, that's neat. Well, I guess that would have to be, yeah.
And, so, being born in Cameroon, and then shortly after that, they moved to Minnesota, which blows my mind. I can't think of two more opposite ends of the world.
In climates. It's
where
the job is.
Yeah.
You went to Evergreen State College. What'd you major in?
Well, Evergreen is a very interesting, very hippie type college.
Yes.
And I actually studied stand-up comedy my senior year.
Did you really?
You can create your own major and courses, and I did a lot of just watching Richard Pryor tapes and getting high.
Wait, we have a school like that in Vermont. It was called Goddard College.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I actually applied to that.
Actually, Bill Macy, the actor, went there.
Oh, cool.
And his wife. With comedy, do you do a lot of political humor, or do you stay away from that? Because I know comics.
Sometimes I do. The thing is, nowadays, it's all so tragic. It's hard to make anything funny out of this mess.
Without question. We had a comedian last week that did a joke about the comedian, something that happened here in Florida, and Mark asked us, said,
it's just a tough subject. It's too dark.
Yeah.
It was well written joke. It was a great written joke, but it's just you're gonna hurt people in the audience because it was about somebody that died.
Right.
It's just too politically charged.
That's a touchy subject for sure.
It was.
You know, for me, I found when you do political humor, it really divides the room in half. So you can have the whole room on your side, and then you say something against either side, and all of a sudden there's a line down the room, and you lost half your audience. And I mean, as much as I want to make a statement, I'd rather have people have a good time for the entire hour that they're watching my show, as opposed to, he was funny, tell that blah blah joke.
Yeah, exactly. And we have seen
That's like
that.
your show here. You stay right. You stay in the middle.
I stay in the middle. I don't go either
You try
one way or
not
the
to.
other. I try not to, but sometimes you get
Except for
carried away.
soccer.
Except for soccer, I'll tell you what. Soccer and volleyball. And with, I was telling you earlier, when the World Cup came on, I had people, I was telling them I'm watching all the games and then having fun, and people would call in here and lambaste me. How can you call that a sport? I says, you've got to know it to enjoy it.
Right. I never understood that when people, oh, soccer is such a wimpy sport. I'm like, you try to run like that for 45 minutes and a half.
I said to somebody, I says, football players get a break every 7 seconds. Well, what do you mean 7 seconds? I says, that's how long a play takes.
Uh-huh.
You know, I says, and then they rest and then they go back at it. Run for the whole time.
Yeah, 90 minutes of running. And you're playing with your feet. That's the thing. I mean, your hands, you're used to that. But feet, come on.
It's tough. I mean, what some of those pros can do. It is amazing. We're with Josh Blue, who was the headliner this weekend at Visani's. How was last night's show, Mark?
It was good. Crowd took a while to become an audience, but they were good.
Yeah, they took a little coaxing. They were a little, I think a lot of them were up past their bedtime, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know that here. wait till Saturday night at 9:30. You've got some good advanced ticket sales for that.
Late show is the busiest show I have the week. The Saturday late show has the best ticket sales.
I have faith
Very
sell
straight.
out, man.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
the
gonna.
momentum, you know. It was fun last night. They, like I said, they just took a little coaxing.
How'd you like the food?
Oh my goodness, I feel fatter.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. With this comedy club, and I see that you're at the Comedy Cabana up at Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, the food there is just outstanding.
Yes, there's a bit of a difference.
We welcome you to Charlotte County. How are you enjoying it so far?
So far, so good, man. I haven't been mugged or attacked by anyone on bath salts.
We're at 8:42 in the morning. Hippo's in the house, and Lovejoy comes your way at 9 o'clock with Charlotte County Speaks. And Josh, with comedy today, and you go to different areas. And I ask all the guys that come in here and gals that come in here on the show, do you change your show per where you are, or do you write new stuff? Like the average age, we're the oldest county in America. Do you change some of your show to adapt to that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I try to read the room and see what people like and what they don't like. But a lot of times, I also feel like, well, if you don't like this, then you probably need to hear it.
Well, what does Brent say in the Snowbird song? If you get annoyed by this song, it's probably about you.
Yeah, exactly. No, you know, my show definitely morphs every night. I've never done one show that's the same as the other one. I always change things and keep it fresh for myself, you know. And
That's gotta be unique. That you change it every night.
yeah, I try to, you know. Otherwise, I mean, can you imagine saying the same thing every day? It would get really boring.
There's unfortunately comedians who work that way though.
I know.
I don't get it.
And I've watched them, and that's one thing. When I studied at Evergreen, I learned that some people do the same stuff, and what I learned is I don't want to be that person.
Year after year.
Right.
After year.
I want to come back here next year, and when you come, you see a whole
Whole new
different
show.
show, and you go, wow, that was just as awesome as last time, if not more awesome.
I think too many.
That's a great attitude.
It certainly is. Tommy's got a weather forecast. We'll be back with Josh Blue in just a second.
Thanks, Hippo. Good morning, everyone. Clear skies this morning, then a mixture of clouds and sunshine throughout the day. Quite hot, with temperatures 90 to 94. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then those winds will shift around to the west-southwest later today. Partly cloudy tonight, quite warm, low 75 to 79. Afternoon showers on Friday and Saturday. Chance of rain both days 30%, and highs both days 89 to 93. Right now from WCCF, it is official. We are at 81 degrees.